Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be looking at someone pretty incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. David Scott.
Oh, okay.
He's 95 years old, and
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is just redefining what it means to age gracefully.
That's awesome.
We've got some really interesting articles about David and his wife, Lydia,
Okay.
and their story's amazing. Like, it's packed with these insights about not just living a long time,
Right.
but how they're actually living their lives.
It is really interesting, right? We always talk about living longer,
Yeah,
but they're really the perfect example of living well.
exactly. So, okay, get this right.
Okay.
David at Planet Fitness 3 times a week.
No.
Weights, cardio, the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
Not exactly what you picture when you think 95 years old, is it?
It's definitely not.
Yeah.
It really challenges how we think about aging.
Totally. And there's so much to talk about here.
Yeah.
But one thing that stood out to me was it's not just about being physically fit. You know, the articles talk about how good he feels after working out, like
Yeah.
mentally and physically.
That's huge. I mean, for anyone listening, it's like a great reminder that exercise is good for both our minds and our bodies.
And it seems like David's always been a pretty disciplined guy. He was in the U.S. Army.
Oh, wow.
So that probably gave him a good sense of routine.
Yeah, that military background could be part of it,
Mm.
especially with how consistent he is with his workouts.
Right.
But you know what else is fascinating?
What?
His relationship with Lydia.
Oh, yeah.
She's active too.
So he is.
Loves sports.
And their love story is so cute.
Oh, tell me.
They met on a ski trip in the Alps.
What?
Yeah. Fell in love at first sight.
Oh, on a ski lift.
That's amazing.
62 years of marriage later. I mean, it's got to say something about their shared love of being active, right?
It really does. And you know, there's actually research on this. Married people tend to live longer.
Really?
Especially men.
So that social support and companionship, they really make a difference.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about something I know everyone loves.
Okay.
Food. David and Lydia are big fans of the Mediterranean diet.
Good for them.
And everyone knows how good that is
Oh, yeah.
for your heart and your brain.
The best.
And they really live it.
What do you mean?
They have this huge garden at their house with fresh produce like beans, broccoli, all kinds of herbs.
Wow.
Lydia makes her own soups and jams even.
That's awesome.
Living the good life, right?
For sure.
Oh, and we can't forget David's favorite meal,
What's that?
his wife's spaghetti.
Classic.
And you know, everyone needs a little indulgence.
Of course.
David loves dark chocolate.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate's got those polyphenols, really healthy. So,
Yeah.
enjoying those little pleasures in moderation,
Yeah.
that's part of a healthy lifestyle.
Okay, so we've got exercise, loving relationship, delicious food. But what's the secret?
I know, I guess.
What's David's big secret to living such a long and healthy life?
Well, someone asked him that. He said, my good wife.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Isn't it?
It seemed like he's onto something, though.
Yeah.
But I bet Lydia would say there's more to it than that.
Oh, I think you're right. She's a big believer in positive thinking, a good sense of humor, and just accepting those ups and downs in life.
So it's kind of like how much of this longevity is about your mindset, you know?
Yeah.
Having that resilience and finding joy in the everyday moments.
That's fascinating, and there's a lot of research on that, too. Optimists tend to live longer.
Really?
It's like a positive outlook can actually help with your health habits and how you handle stress.
Interesting, but,
Yeah.
you know, David's life hasn't been all easy. I mean, this is the man who went to Harvard at 16,
Wow, 16.
joined the Army at 17 during World War II.
That's incredible.
He's not afraid of a challenge, that's for sure.
Definitely not.
And then after the war, he goes back to Harvard, then business school, and then get this,
What?
he moves to Italy for skiing.
He just kept going.
Talk about adventurous.
That's a really important point right there. Staying active and engaged, open to new things. It seems to be a big part of living a longer and richer life.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the physical stuff.
Right, yeah.
It's about that mental stimulation,
Yeah,
you know, keeping that curiosity about the world.
I love that.
So speaking of staying active, let's talk about how fitness has always been a part of David's life.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, he was fascinated by strength.
You remember that story about him as a young boy?
Wow.
Reading that magazine article about strength training?
Yeah.
He was captivated by the idea that anyone could become strong
Yeah.
if they put in the work.
It just shows you the power of stories and role models, right?
Yep.
And that early fascination with strength, it turned into this lifelong love of sports. Football, wrestling, skiing with Lydia. He's a man who clearly prioritizes movement.
He does, and don't forget, Lydia,
Yeah.
fencing, Tai Chi, Qigong.
She's got it all going on.
That's amazing.
Right.
And, Tai Chi and Qigong, they're not just exercise. They're mindfulness breathing techniques. It's a whole mind-body experience.
It really is like woven into their lives, being active individually and as a family. They really embody the idea that movement isn't just something you check off a list. It's a way of life.
Absolutely. So I'm curious what stands out to you the most about their story so far.
That's a great question. I mean, we've covered a lot. Fitness, diet, love, mindset. This is just the start of our deep dive into David and Lydia's lives.
Yeah.
So stick with us. There's so much more to come.
It's amazing, isn't it?
What is?
How they've managed to find this balance.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're all about healthy eating.
Right.
But they still enjoy those little treats.
Like David and his wife's spaghetti.
Exactly. And they have this adventurous spirit.
Yeah.
But also this incredible bond from their marriage.
It's like they figured out how to enjoy life, but still make healthy choices.
Yeah, and when it comes to being active, it's not about these crazy workouts.
Right.
It's just part of their everyday life.
It's like movement is just ingrained in who they are.
And, thinking back to David's childhood, it's interesting how that fascination with strength seems to have set the stage for his whole life.
Yeah, that story about him reading that magazine as a kid, it's incredible how a little thing like that can have such a big impact.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just about building muscles. He played football, wrestled, and of course there's the skiing with Lydia.
It's like he's always been drawn to things that challenge her and that he enjoys.
And Lydia's the same way.
Oh, yeah, with the fencing and Tai Chi and
Qigong.
It's amazing how many different things she does.
It shows that fitness isn't one size fits all right.
Yeah.
It's about finding what works for you, what you enjoy, and what your body needs.
And trying new things can actually make it more interesting.
Exactly. So they've definitely seen the benefits, both physically and mentally.
But it makes you wonder.
What's that?
How much of this is just genetics,
The big question, isn't it?
Yeah, like, is it all lifestyle, or are we kind of programmed to live a certain amount of time?
Well, genes definitely play a role, especially with certain health conditions. But the choices we make, they have a huge impact on how those genes actually work.
Is it both?
Exactly. Nature and nurture working together.
Interesting.
We might inherit certain tendencies, but our diet, exercise, stress levels, even our social connections, they all influence how those genes play out.
So David and Lydia are like proof of that.
They've made choices that support their well-being.
That's kind of empowering. It means we have more control than we think.
Exactly. It's not just about our genes. It's about the choices we make every single day.
It all comes back to those key takeaways. Healthy diet-loving relationships, positive outlook adventure, and of course, a commitment to movement.
All things that our listeners are interested in.
Right, this desire to learn and grow and find ways to live healthier, more fulfilling lives.
David and Lydia's story is incredibly inspiring.
It really is, and it shows that aging doesn't have to be a decline. It can be a journey of growth and discovery.
So if you could ask them one question about living a long and fulfilling life, what would it be?
That's a great question. It really makes you think about what matters. And while genes are a factor, David and Lydia show us that we have a lot of control. It's about making those healthy choices.
For our physical, mental, and emotional health.
It's about facing life with enthusiasm, curiosity, and a willingness to keep learning.
Their story is such a testament to the human spirit and its ability to thrive.
It's a great reminder that it's never too late to embrace a healthy, active, and fulfilling lifestyle.
We hope this deep dive has been motivating for everyone and that you're feeling inspired to start your own journey.
To a long and vibrant life.
But we're not done yet.
There's more.
Stay with us for part 3.
We'll be back with more insights, and we'll be answering your questions. It's amazing how David and Lydia, they've created such a full life.
Right.
With all these different pieces.
It really shows that longevity, it's not about finding one secret trick. It's about taking care of yourself, your mind, body, and those relationships.
And speaking of relationships, David's career path is really interesting.
What do you mean?
Well, he could have just taken the easy route after business school,
Oh, yeah, the corporate world.
But he didn't. He followed his passion.
Which was?
Skiing.
Wow.
He moved to Italy.
That's incredible.
It really shows his adventurous side.
And it led him to Lydia.
It's like it was meant to be.
Maybe it was.
It makes you think what we might miss out on if we always play it safe.
That's a good point. Sometimes taking a risk can lead to amazing things.
And it's never too late.
Never too late.
Even later in life to try something new.
Exactly. And even with all that success, David never forgot about staying active.
It all goes back to that childhood fascination with strength.
And it wasn't just the gym. He and Lydia did all kinds of things.
Right, skiing, fencing, tai chi, qigong. They were always moving.
It was part of their lives.
Not a chore.
It's a great lesson for all of us. Find ways to move that you enjoy.
Yeah,
Make it part of your lifestyle.
whether it's dancing or gardening or just taking the stairs.
It all makes a difference.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today,
Yeah.
what are the big things people can take away?
From David and Lydia's story.
Well, first, prioritize your health.
Make good choices about what you eat, how much you move, how you sleep, how you manage that stress.
Those are the building blocks of a long and healthy life.
And don't forget about those connections.
Absolutely.
Build relationships with people you love. Stay engaged with the world.
Have a positive outlook.
That's a big one.
Focus on the good things.
Find the humor in everyday life. Practice gratitude.
A positive mindset can make a huge difference.
It really can, and never stop learning.
Yeah.
Keep challenging yourself.
Try new things.
Keep your mind and body active.
That's how you live a life full of purpose.
David and Lydia's story shows us that age is just a number.
It's all about how we choose to live our lives.
It's never too late to make those changes. That can improve our health and happiness.
So as we say goodbye, we'll leave you with this thought.
What steps can you take today to create a life that you love?
That's fulfilling and sustainable.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep moving.
Until next time, happy deep diving, everyone.